What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here with another Motown's Wrestling Review. I am the president of the Motown's Wrestling Group on Facebook. My name is Tony Motown Allen, and we're here today to review the Night of Champions, which was really the Afternoon of Champions because it came on at 1 p.m. in Indianapolis, 12 noon in Chicago, and some other places and everything. Because they were in Saudi Arabia though, so since they were in Saudi Arabia, there was definitely a time change though. But I don't mind the early pay per views and everything. The bigger to kind of watch them a little bit early, get it out the way. Sometimes kind of fits for me though. But after I do my review, I want to mention somebody that I've just recently lost. But just kind of want to explain a little bit now before we start. If my mood just seems a little bit down, a friend of mine just passed last night, and her name was Sam, and she's on my I play a game. I've been on a game called Piggy Go since like 2000, since 2020, since COVID. When COVID hit and we had a lot of free time, that's why I started playing this game. I actually made my own team. And for those of you from the Motown's Wrestling Group know what Ty is to the wrestling group. I mean, Motown's Wrestling Group been around for like 14, 15 years for the most part. Ty's been is the first lady of the Motown's Wrestling Group. She runs the group and everything. And the person that I just lost from Bombs Away team on Peggy Goes, she was Ty in the team. Like Sam was the first lady of Bombs Away and everything. And so trying to deal with that and everything. I do want to speak, give her a little shout out when I finish up with this review though, but I just want to kind of let you guys know what's going on before we start the review though. But let's kick this all off with the Night of Champions opening bout, which was a surprise to me. The opening bout was Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the Men's King of the Ring. And it's kind of funny because everybody's singing the voices. Randy Orton's theme music, voices in my head. I just gotta say, y'all been sleeping on it. My friend and that I used to work with at U.S. Cellular, Jania. Hey Jania, we've been talking about those voices in our heads and this song since back in 2010, 2011. This used to be Jania's ringtone on my phone, to be honest with you. That's how we were with the voices and everything. So it's nice to see that the rest of the WWE universe finally caught up to me and Jania. Before I jump into the actual match itself and giving my take on the match, though, I do want to kind of speak on legacy because this match had a lot of layers to it, and it goes back to 2008. 2008 is when they started Legacy. Legacy consisted of Bob Orton's son, Randy Orton, the Legend Killer. It had Cody Rhodes, the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and it had Ted DiBiase Jr., the son of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And of course, Randy was the established star back then. Them two were the young up and comers. They're all second generation wrestlers. And when this faction started, no, we really didn't expect Cody Rhodes to be the shining star in this. Like the way they looked back then, it looked like the person that had the it factor, the one that was going to like go right to the top, was Ted DiBiase Jr. His promos were better than Cody. His in-ring work was better than Cody. He was a lot more confident back then than Cody. And I'm not trying to slam Cody and everything. These are just the facts and everything. This is how it was back in 2008, 2009. But the faction itself, I think, is really highly underrated as a faction. I don't think when you talk about top factions, people do not put enough respect on the names of Legacy. I mean, and in the time that we had Legacy, I mean, Randy Orton, in my opinion, was at his best. Like, Randy Orton's a natural heel, but he was a vicious, sadistic heel back then. I don't think anybody was a more vicious heel in the history of professional wrestling than this version of Randy Orton. And he did that with Legacy. I actually got to see this version of Randy Orton take on Triple H at WrestleMania 25 in Houston and everything. And that feud was just brutal. I mean, Randy Orton punk kicking motherfuckers left and right. Punk kicked Vince McMahon in the head. Punk kicked Shane McMahon. Handcuffed Triple H to the fucking rope. Punk kicked his wife in front of him. And then gave Stephanie a fucking kiss right in front of his face. That feud was incredible though. But like I said, Randy Orton won 3 of his 14 championships during this time with Legacy. So and And he also feuded with okay, he feuded with both of them, but he had some really good matches with Cody Rhodes back then. But these two haven't wrestled in like 12 years though. But overall, they did have 10 matches prior to today, yesterday. And Randy Orton is 7-3 against Cody Rhodes though. But let's jump into the match and everything. As I played the music earlier, all the fans were singing voices, singing Randy Orton out to the ring and everything. It's nice to see that you guys finally called it to me and Jania on the greatness of Randy Orton and the voices and everything. But Randy Orton's entrance was lit. Like that crowd was on point. And then out comes Cody Rhodes and everything. And the only problem that Cody Rhodes had is the fact that, like, because the crowd was definitely lit for Cody as well, really into him and everything. But it wasn't as much as it was with Randy. Like Cody Rhodes probably had the second best entrance of the night and everything as far as like the crowd being into it, but it was second to his opponent, Randy Orton. I mean, that's just how great that was. But the match itself, the crowd kind of might have been a little bit too excited with the entrance and everything because the bell ring, they kind of they lock up to do about 2 or 3 moves and everything, and all of a sudden everybody's chanting, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" Like they haven't done anything awesome yet. Y'all know how I feel about it. I don't mind that "This is awesome" chants, but Jesus Christ, can something awesome happen, or can a match be awesome before we get there? We shouldn't be chanting that like a minute or two into the match, and we've seen 3 moves. But Orton hurt his back with a superplex. And I'm not sure if this injury was legit or not, though. But I honestly think that he may have done something to his back because it just doesn't seem like they really needed to work an injury angle with this. But if this was an angle, my God, he sold the fuck out of it. He sold the fuck out of it. And for anybody watching that's not too familiar with stuff in wrestling, when I say he sold the fuck out of it, in wrestling, like when you do something to an opponent, the person who's getting the move done to them, they have to sell it. Like if you punch them in the face, you sell it like it hurts. Like if you hurt your back, you're just grabbing that back and you're just making it seem a lot more painful than it actually was. You're selling the injury. You're selling the people on this is real and everything. So that's what selling is. And if he then really hurt his back, he sold the hell out of it because he got me wondering if it's really hurt. Cody countered the RKO into a crossroads, but only got a 2 count. Later on, he got hit with an RKO out of nowhere, but Cody kicked out, of course. Then, but at this point, the match was going really good and everything. You had to kick out of the RKO. Then everybody started chanting, "This is awesome." The second time they chanted, "This is awesome," I'm a little bit better with it though because the chemistry with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes was really good, and this match was going great and everything. Orton was going to do a punt kick on Rhodes, but then he second guessed himself. So he had him set up and everything. He started second guessing whether he was going to actually cut his head off and everything. And it's kind of funny because the fans were chanting, "Yes, yes, yes, like yes, kick him. We've been wanting this. Kick him in the fucking head." Then he hit him with another RKO off the ropes and again another count out, which the RKO, the way to move is, I don't think people should be kicking out on, especially like if you're hitting devastating ones off the top ropes or if we springboard into them. I'm like, come on, no, stop with all these. I'd rather for them to do the tease of the RKO and then kick out or counter it or something, but kicking out of a solid ass RKOs is ridiculous. Orton, Orton brought a chair into the ring. He was going to use it, but the referee grabbed the chair and everything, and then went to the side with it to get rid of it. And while the referee was doing that, Orton exposed the turnbuckle and everything. Only to have and then go back to Cody, and then only to have Cody Rhodes throw him into the exposed turnbuckle, hurting the ribs, and then he hit him with the crossroads, and the match is over. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes is your winner. And if you guys watched the previous video, you saw that I did predict Cody Rhodes to win. I am 1-0. Honestly, of all the predictions I made, I was really kind of hoping that I was not right about this one. I would have really have loved to see Cody lose to Randy Orton. I much rather see Orton move on, but as I predicted, if you saw my last show, I said that Cody's going to win. He's going to go on to face John Cena. I don't think that John Cena is going to drop the title at SummerSlam halfway through his retirement tour. So at least Cody Rhodes will be out of that picture. But I also said, if you remember my predictions, I also said that I think we're going to start getting hints of a Randy Orton heel turn. So, and so we got to see what happens at SummerSlam when Cody takes on John Cena, though. But for the most part, we are on track with all my predictions for this, though. And I just want to throw in what Ty had to say about it. Ty said she's really happy for Cody Rhodes winning and everything, and I know a lot of people are, but she said the same thing. she wished that Orton had won. She thought that Orton should have won the match and everything, and so we could have got Orton versus Cena next, and Orton might have been a bigger threat at this point to John Cena though. So you're definitely on point on that, Ty. I completely agree with you. Ty also pointed out the same thing that I mentioned as well though, so she's on page with me as well. But she pointed out the looks on Randy Orton's face and everything. She's like pointed out the heel looks that Randy had when that match was over and everything though. So we definitely both kind of see the heel turn coming there. All right, our next match is Raquel Rodriguez, Tiny Tits herself versus Mommy Rhea Ripley. And if y'all saw my predictions, I predicted Rhea Ripley was gonna be on top because we love when Mommy's on top. Pretty decent match overall. It was a street fight and everything. It saw some pretty good action. And Rhea and Raquel do have some pretty good chemistry. Raquel's hitting Rhea with the fallaway slams. That was pretty good. Raquel hit the power slam through the table on Rhea Ripley. That was impressive. I mean, she got a pretty decent amount of offense in there, and which is good because as dominant as Mommy is, she could definitely sell the shit out of everything as well too, though. So it was kind of nice to be able to see her get her stuff in and get to see Rhea selling stuff. But Rhea did get back on top. Rhea did end up getting the win. So she won the street fight. And for my predictions, I'm now 2-0. But and it was kind of funny though because during the match too, Rhea Ripley was beating the shit out of Raquel Rodriguez with a studded belt and everything, and the way them two were looking, could definitely see them in a little BDSM action. But anyway, the match itself though, I didn't give you the grade on Cody and Orton. I gave that an A minus. This particular match, I gave a B. I thought it was really, really good. And for Ty's comments on this was Ty said that she really loved all the ladies' outfits and everything. And to kind of let you guys know what we point out the outfits is the fact that in Saudi Arabia, now that the women can wrestle, because originally when they were going to Saudi, they couldn't wrestle at all over there. The women were not allowed to perform. But when they started allowing them to perform, the Saudis like, hey, they can perform, but they got to be completely covered up from the neck down and everything. So the women have been very creative with the outfits that they're wearing and everything. And they're getting a lot better and everything with the outfits. But Ty pointed out, she loved the outfits and everything, though. So I'm sure she probably wanted a couple of the girls' outfits that they had on. And Ty also said this was her female match of the night. So for the ladies, this was her match of the night. Next up, we have Killian Cross versus Sami Zayn. And match was, in my opinion, okay. I did kind of like when Killian Cross counted out of the hell of a kick into to the sleeper mode. With looked like he actually might get the win there, but later on, Sammy did hit the hell of a kick for the win on Killian Cross. The match itself, I gave a C. It was good, not great. Pretty much an average match and everything, though. But Sammy was definitely over with the fans and everything. The crowd definitely was into Sami Zayn. But if you saw my predictions, I did pick Sami Zayn on prediction show on the last recording. I mean, it's all out there. So, and the match itself, I gave a C. This put me 3-0 overall. But Ty said that this was a good hard hit match, but she enjoyed that, and everyone, including and she said everybody, including her, would have riot if Sami Zayn did not win, and she's definitely probably right about that. Next up is Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. And a lot better than I expected, to be honest with you. I mean, Jacob Fatu is a fucking beast and everything, though. But Solo has been kind of on a downward spiral since the Tribal Chief returned last summer and everything and beat him in the Ula Fowler match and everything. It just kind of seemed like Solo been phasing out and everything, though. But this was definitely a good come-up match for him. This match, we saw the return of Tonga Loa. And JC Mattel was already outside at ringside. For those of you who don't know, JC Mattel is Matanza from Lucha Underground. Jacob Fatu did a nice little run and dive over the top rope onto JC and Tonga. I mean, Jacob Fatu, for his size, is very impressive. He also hit the moonsault. And then after he hit the moonsault in the ring, trying to go for the win, then out comes Tama Tonga, another member of the family, making his debut at Night of Champions, was impressive, though. I mean, he's definitely the tallest of the I guess the bloodlines, but he made his debut, and then his help led to the Samoan Spike on Fatu, and Solo Sikoa is your new United States champion. This drops me to 3-1 because if you saw my predictions, I did predict Fatu was going to win. I got that one wrong. Overall, I gave the match a C plus. I did like the return of Tamatanga, Tonga Loa, and also like the debut of Tamatanga. Man, these names. Ty said everyone saw Tamatongo's debut coming, but the one thing that she did not see was the return of Tonga Loa. So thank you for that, Ty. And we're gonna move on to the women's Queen of the Ring match, which is Asuka versus Jade Cargill. Asuka got a great pop when she came out for this match and everything. They definitely love her. And for those of you watching who's not really familiar with some of the terminology when it comes to wrestling, pop is basically the reaction. The reaction, whether how do people react to you coming out there? And if you get a good pop, that means they were feeling you. Everybody was cheering, they were on their feet and everything. But your pop can range anywhere from a good pop into what they used to call back in the day the Road Warriors pop. And what the Road Warriors pop was like when Road Warriors came out there, anywhere they went, they had a huge pop. But in Chicago, the Road Warrior pop is deafening. Deafening. The people are like so excited, so loud. The pop is just how loud the crowd is when they come out for you. So when I say Asuka had a good pop, they were into her, they were yelling, they were screaming, they were just so excited to see her out there. Asuka was looking good in this match. I mean, Asuka is, to me, it's kind of hard to say that she's underrated because she has accomplished so much. But to me, she should be accomplished a lot more. She's one of the best women wrestlers in the division right now, and I think she made Jade look much better than Jade actually performed in this match. I'm happy that Jade won. I mean, so Jade did hit Asuka with the Jaded and get the 1-2-3. But this some of Jade's stuff just seemed off. I mean, it seemed like she was stiff. Some stuff was sloppy. Even when she hit the Jaded on her, it didn't look as impactful as it normally does. I mean, I was kind of surprised Asuka didn't kick out of it. I mean, I talk about like kicking out of finishing maneuvers where like with Cody Rhodes kicking out of solid ass RKOs. I didn't really think the Jaded that she hit was that solid enough where like you really could have had a kick out on that because it just didn't feel like she got all of it though. But happy for Jade. If you saw my predictions, I predicted Jade was going to win. I mentioned like even I called Jade beating Roxanne Perez to get here to Asuka to beat Asuka to challenge for the women's title because I think that I think Jay's gonna win the women's title, and I think Naomi's gonna cash in and take it from her at SummerSlam. And Jay's gonna have the title for all of like 30 seconds. But the match itself, I gotta give a D. This was probably the worst match of the night. Jade has improved so much, but it's just something was missing on this and everything though. I think they might what they probably should do is a little bit of what AEW was doing. Like put her in there with people that she could dominate. Just let her show her dominance and everything. Get these Goldberg matches. Like Goldberg back in the 90s. Like I think Jade needs to get that under her belt. Maybe that can help her confidence as well. I'm not saying that she's not a confident woman though, but I think if she could get some of those wins, maybe and just kind of go on a little streak, just dominating people, maybe that can help with her character and everything though. But yeah, that one I gave a C. And then in our next match, and also I had because I had Jay win that had me at 401. John Cena versus CM Punk in the main event. This I'm enjoying the hell out of this feud. This has been my favorite feud since John Cena's retirement announcement and everything. But this and John Cena CM Punk had a great pop. But John Cena getting the mixed ones and everything, which was really good and everything, though. Like some people love him, some people hate him. You could tell it in the reaction, though. But this was another one of those like finish maneuvers. The marvelous Marcus Buckley always says it, and he's right. Finish maneuvers need to be finished maneuvers. We had a couple of go to sleeps that were kicked out of. We had a few AAs I was kicked out of. It's just like need to cut back on that. I mean, they act like that makes the match better, though, but to me, this kind of takes away from it a little bit and it takes away from the maneuvers and everything. John Cena had the belt and he was about to use it on CM Punk, but the fans started chanting no and he put the belt down, which was kind of surprising. Seth freaking Rollins came out to interfere, teasing the cash in and everything. Well, not teasing, like he actually was going to cash in. So him and the Dangerous Alliance beat down CM Punk, put him through the Arabic announce table. And then he called off. Then he called out Charles Robinson, Little Nate. Little Nate coming running to the ring, and then boom, John Cena laid him the fuck out. The only thing John Cena was missing was standing over and going, "You just got knocked the fuck out." Oh man, but he stopped the cash in right there though. But before I go, and he stopped the cash in right there, and then Penta comes out to kind of try to even the numbers up as well as Sami Zayn. And then Seth Rollins ended up using the briefcase upside Punk's head to knock him out. While Punk was laying on the ground trying to work his way up, he hit him with a stomp, and Cena comes in and gets the win. 1, 2, 3. John Cena's still the champion, of course, just like I predicted, because it's just too early for him to lose the title. But one thing I forgot to mention in this match was CM Punk channeling his inner AJ Lee. Skippy herself, because he did have John Cena locked into the octopus submission hold that AJ Lee made famous and everything else. So that was a pretty cool moment in the match right there. Overall, the match itself, I gave a B plus. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. I think even though John Cena and CM Punk are like about 14 years older than they were when they feuded back in the day, 12 or 14, something like that though. But the chemistry with them is good. Like they may not, neither one might not be as good as they were back then though, but they're still putting on great matches together and everything. You pair up either of them with a good worker that they have chemistry with, is going to come out looking good. Ty said this was her men's match of the night, and she also said did Seth have to use Kane's old ring gear when he came out there in the red? So yeah, I guess he felt he had to and everything. You never know with Seth Rollins. So that was the show in a nutshell. I do want to give my tap out, my moment, and my match of the night. I mean, if you're keeping track of my range, you already know what my match of the night was. The highest rating I gave was an A minus, and that was to Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. I just loved everything about that match. I think the psychology on it. Also, I like, if that back injury is real, I like how they audible, and the reason I say audible, because the way the match was going up until then, Randy Orton hit the superplex and hurt his back, and from that point, he was pretty much fighting on the defensive and everything. And Cody was more of the aggressor in this match, which is normally the other way around with them. I'm not sure if that was planned or if that was an audible, but that was definitely a good touch on it. But it was definitely my match of the night. My tap out might surprise some of you though, but this is the King of the Ring. No, and in the King of the Ring, we had Jade Cargill winning the Queen of the Ring, and we had Cody Rhodes winning the King of the Ring. There's no coronations anymore. Like, I don't think they had one last year either. I mean, you can leave in the comments if they did or not though. But whatever happened to coronating your champ, like doing the coronation and everything? Like, what's the point of becoming the king and the queen if you don't get your crown, you don't get your cape, you don't get your scepter? Like, I don't know. That was my tap out. Kind of a tap out too was the last woman standing match. Uh, Being on SmackDown instead of on Night of Champions. I thought they kind of dropped the ball on that as well. Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax definitely should have been at the Night of Champions, especially considering that was a championship match. It was the last woman standing match. I don't understand why that wasn't on your PLE. But anyway, I digress. My moment of the night was actually the return of Tonga Loa and the return of Tonga Loa and the debut of Tama Tonga. Keep wanting to say it was a return, but this was his debut. It's just we've been talking about him coming for like a year now. My moment of the night, I thought this was really, really good. I know only the really diehard fans know who Tama Tonga is. And as far as Tonga Loa, he's not as big of a WWE star, but he is a big star. So a lot of the old school fans, the hardcore fans do know who they are though. But I love them being there, and I love what they're doing with the bloodline and everything. Because right now the bloodline is pretty stale, kind of like not going anywhere. And Solo is building up a younger version of the bloodline. Might not ever be as big as Roman's, but he's trying to make them relevant again. So definitely enjoyed that, and did go a little bit long on this one, and but I hope you guys enjoyed it though. But before we wrap this up, I just want to cheers to Dana. Dana is the daughter of Sam. No, she was there with her mom and everything for the last couple of months, taking care of her while she was going through what she was going through. She was there for her the entire time. Sam, you're a love, you're a miss. I mean, King in the wrestling group. I mean, he just like he doesn't want to play today, like because we lost you. A lot of people sending out their thoughts and prayers to you. You are going to be missed, Sam. So happy you're not suffering anymore. Very happy you're not suffering anymore. You're a wonderful lady. You were my right hand. Like there was times I'm just like, screw this team. This is just too much. I'm done. And here I am still running the team and everything. And that's because of Sam. Because Sam was like, no, we got this. I got you. And Sam, like I said, she was the first lady of Bombs Away. She meant every bit as much to me in that group as time means to me in my wrestling group and everything. I mean, rest in peace, Sam. We love you.